All right, so we've talked about the long tail, what it is, and how digital media has made all of the parts of that distribution accessible to everybody and given people tools to create their own media to put into that distribution. But now I want to talk about one of the issues that digital media transformation of the long tail has brought up, and how the way it's been solved has actually changed our society. So technology makes almost everything available almost everywhere online, right? We talked about this. Netflix can offer pretty much any movie, any TV show. YouTube can offer pretty much any video, and all kinds of people can make their own videos and put them on YouTube, and YouTube can offer those to you as well. And so these platforms can offer just about any media to anybody. And as a result, these businesses are trying to compete for your attention. So let's look at an example. Let's imagine that you're bored. Okay, I'm bored. I want to, let me just find something to watch. I just want to vegetate while I watch some dumb show or whatever, right? Well, where am I going to go? I can go to Netflix. I can go to YouTube. I can go to Hulu, I can go to Amazon Prime, I can go to Instagram, TikTok, I can listen to audio on Clubhouse. I mean, it's like endless, right? I could go to Twitch. And so it's not just that a platform like Netflix over here on the left can offer all of these different possibilities, because so can YouTube, and so can Hulu, and so can Prime. Now, they're not all going to have the exact same media, but they all have tons and tons of choices. So how are they going to compete with each other? How is TikTok going to compete against Instagram? How is Instagram going to compete against Facebook? Actually, they're the same company now, but you know, they're in a race for your attention, because you can pretty much never run out of things to watch on any of these platforms, and they don't want you to leave and go to another platform. And so these platforms need to get you watching and staying watching as soon as possible. So enter the creation of the personal feed, right? This is how pretty much all of these platforms, Amazon, Netflix, Spotify, like, it's so pervasive, it almost seems silly to be talking about it, because it just is the way that these platforms work today, even though like 10 years ago they didn't exist. Like when Facebook came out in 2005, there was no feed. So it is kind of a newer invention, but we're all familiar with it because it is just kind of the world of these types of media today. And so what these media have to do, if Netflix wants to keep you from going to Hulu and watching something, they track you. And based on their tracking, they show you the sort of niche stuff that they think you'll like. So they don't want to say, hey, do you want to watch Avatar? Because you can go watch Avatar anywhere. They want to say, hey, we know that you really like this particular obscure sport. So here are 5 videos of that particular obscure sport. And their goal is to keep you on their platform, believing that their content is the right content for you, and watching that content. And it's not just because they want to keep you and they don't want you to go to other platforms, but they want to show you ads. They want to get you to do activities that they might want, right? They might want you to review something. So they have things that they want from you, and they have things that they might want to show you. So they're tracking you to show you the niche stuff that you'll like, to convince you that their platform is the right platform for you, and also to get their niche ads in front of you, and they see that as a way of keeping you. It also helps them get investment, by the way. If you create a social network like this and you're trying to get investment in your company so you can grow your company, the very first question that's going to be asked of you is like, what is the value of your audience? And that means, how engaged is your audience? Do they click ads? Do they buy things? So the personal feed is how the long tail, like the problem with the long tail is it has so many options on it that you have to get people the right options. You have to find a person's niche and deliver on that niche. You can't just give them the whole distribution. So here's an example from Netflix. I just went to Netflix, signed in as myself, and took a screenshot. So it was the very first screen that loads, and everything on here is based on their tracking of my behavior on their platform. So if you go to your Netflix, it will look nothing like this because I'm seeing this piece across the top because this is a show that I had started watching and they want me to keep watching it. Documentaries is my first row of suggestions because I've been watching a lot of documentaries, and then continue watching is stuff that I have been watching that I haven't finished that they want me to stay and finish. And in addition to these recommendations and using the content to keep me watching, these systems, these platforms will use tricks like infinite scroll. If you scroll to the bottom of YouTube, what happens? More videos load in, right? They never want you to feel like you ran out of options because you'll go somewhere else. They want to keep you on the site. So infinite scroll. And we all know, like, infinite scroll, you can say to yourself, I'm going to look at Instagram for a couple minutes, and an hour later you're still scrolling and you have no idea what happened to your last hour of your life. You've just been infinite scrolling. Autoplay. So Netflix autoplays when you go to it because they want you to start watching immediately and keep watching. Using likes to get you to come back to see if something that you liked or you made is being engaged with by other people. And of course, recommendations, where I started, the Netflix screenshot, that's all recommendations. And so what these companies have to do is, if they want to get you into the right niche in the long tail, they have to know you. So they build a profile of you and what niches you are into. And then based on that, they are going to offer you a different experience than someone else. And a lot of times you'll hear this described as a really great thing. Hey, I don't have to search. Like, this platform knows exactly what I like. But there are definitely some downsides. For example, advertising, right? They're not just trying to get you to watch. They're trying to get you to watch and then to watch their advertiser and to be more primed and ready to buy from their advertiser. There's an amazing documentary on this on Netflix called The Social Dilemma. I'm not going to have you guys watch it because I don't know that it will be accessible for all of you. If you don't have a Netflix account, you won't be able to see it, so we're not going to watch it. But what I'm going to have you watch instead is Senate testimony by Tristan Harris. He's actually featured prominently in The Social Dilemma. He's a former ethicist from Google, and he is the co-founder and executive director of the Center for Humane Technology. His testimony that you're going to listen to is going to talk about what is wrong with these recommendation engines and why it's dangerous for these companies to be tracking you and creating profiles of you. The plus side, of course, is that tracking you and creating profiles helps them deliver the niche content that you're interested in, but he's going to talk about a lot of the downsides. And one of the examples he gives is that these platforms have found that, like, shocking you or outraging you or showing you extreme things is a good way to drive you into the long tail and the niches and to keep you watching. And he gives the example of a young woman who is looking for dieting help on YouTube. Well, what is YouTube going to show her next? They don't want to just show her more dieting stuff. They want to get her into more and more specific and extreme videos, because stuff that we haven't seen before, which is extreme stuff, most people aren't around it all the time. We haven't seen it before. It's new, it's novel, it keeps us watching. And so this young girl starts by looking at dieting content, and YouTube eventually is pushing her toward pro-anorexia content. So he talks about how this tracking not only kind of delivers on niches and says, oh, you like, you like Psycho Goreman, the movie? Here's other movies like it, or here's reviews of it, or here's criticisms of it. It's actually, the algorithms are knowingly pushing us toward not just more of the same, but more extreme stuff, because shock, outrage, extremity, these are interesting. They keep us clicking, they keep us watching, they keep us on the platform, which is the goal. So you're going to watch his Senate testimony to learn more about sort of the darker side of these systems that help the long tail be useful online. So I am really excited for you to jump into that and to see what you think.